So topic for today is API types. So yesterday we took a look like what are APIs, what is an API provider, API consumer, services, all those things we saw yesterday. Now today we will see like what are different types of APIs, and maybe you might have already come across these terms like REST APIs, SOAP APIs. So we will uh, just go through it again. So there are basically four types of APIs. One is object oriented, then remote APIs, messaging APIs, and database APIs. And for this course, we will be mostly using remote APIs, which is REST and SOAP. And then the REST APIs, they are also further divided into OData APIs, OData 2, OData 4. Okay, but let's see what are object-oriented APIs. So there are some like object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java, right? So if in our integrations or if in the API which we are creating, if it involves any object-oriented concepts, right? We design our API in such a way so that they follow object-oriented programming principles. So that's why these type of APIs they call as object oriented APIs, and these object oriented APIs they are mostly used for interacting with Java integrations, right? So because our course it's more focused on SAP integration suite, so we will be so this will not be covered during the course object oriented APIs. Then we have remote APIs, and they are further divided into REST and SOAP, and we will see in details what are REST APIs and SOAP APIs. And then there are some other types of remote APIs also, but those are not important. The important ones are REST and SOAP. Then we have messaging APIs. So messaging APIs are then further classified into push notifications API. So for example, there are certain scenarios where let's say we have sent some data, some response to a target system, and we expect that the target system will send some acknowledgement back to us. So this is called as push notifications, and the APIs which are used for sending push notifications, they are classified as messaging APIs because they are just used for like sending a kind of an acknowledgement back to the integration system. And then we have database APIs. So these are the APIs which interact directly with some database applications. So they are classified as database APIs. So yeah, database APIs, they are intended for file exchange between two systems. For example, like configuration files. So basically it's an exchange of data between the two systems. Object oriented, as I mentioned, to define the communication of the classes with each other. These APIs they follow object-oriented programming principles. But again, for this course, we will just skip these two APIs, database and object-oriented. Remote APIs are the most important, and they are classified as REST and SOAP. REST means representational state transfer, and SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol APIs. And then we have messaging APIs. And as I said, these are basically used for sending acknowledgements. Now, what what is a REST API, what is a SOAP API, and what are the differences between REST and SOAP based APIs? So initially, like there was no REST concept. All the web services APIs which were created, they were all following SOAP principle. So what a SOAP is, it's like a protocol. It's a set of protocol, and REST is also a set of protocol. So any API which is developed, it has to follow some protocols. Either it will follow SOAP protocol or it will follow REST based protocols. And these are like design principles. The difference between SOAP and REST is the differences in the design principles. So for example, when it comes to the design, so the SOAP API exposes functions or operations, while REST APIs are data driven. Now let's say there is an application where employee data needs to be created, no, not created, but sent to the target system. This is the scenario. Now, if we are using a SOAP API, then in SOAP API, I think I did mention this in one of the previous class that in SOAP APIs, what we do is we create a functionality. We create a function which is called as, maybe we will just name it as create employee. So this create employee function we will create. It will take some input, like for example, name of the employee, ID of the employee, and then there will be a fixed set of output, right? And this function will then create the employee. We will add some logic in this function. So the SOAP APIs, their design is like this, that there will be a function and there will be some input parameters to that function, and there will be an output parameter of that function. So this is a SOAP API design. But in REST API design, they work on URL. So instead of creating a function or in providing input parameter, output parameter, we will create a URL, and that URL can be used for accessing the API. Then there is a difference in flexibility. So the SOAP APIs, they are rigid and only allow XML messaging between applications. Means the data format in a SOAP API, it can only be XML based, whereas REST API, it supports a lot of other formats like XML, HTML, JSON. When it comes to performance, then the SOAP messages, they are larger than they are more complex also. And why they are large and complex is because, again, the design of a SOAP API is like, if there is a SOAP API, then it will remember what was called in the previous call, what information was passed in the previous call. For example, again, let's say we made a call to create employee. We created this function, and we called this function create employee, and we created an employee, let's say employee ID 123. Now the next time when we will call this function again, create employee, and we want to create a new employee, then this SOAP API, it will remember which employee was created previously, 123, right? So whenever we are making a SOAP call, it will have two set of datas. One data is the current information which we are trying to send, and the information which was sent previously. So it will have two set of datas, and that is why the SOAP messages, they are larger and more complex, because there is more data in these APIs, and that's why they are a little slow as compared to, their processing is a little slow as compared to the REST process. And REST APIs, they are faster because the REST APIs, they don't store information of previous record which was sent. They only store what the data is in the current transaction. Then there are a few more differences like scalability. The SOAP protocol requires applications to store the state between requests. Again, this is like exactly what I was telling, that between two calls in a SOAP protocol, it will store the data. which was sent previously. So this will increase bandwidth, memory requirements, and it will become more complex because the size of your message, it will increase because it has previous data and the current data. And unlike SOAP, REST is stateless and it is more scalable because it does not store previous data. It only stores the data which is currently being transmitted. When it comes to security, then again, both SOAP and REST APIs, they both are secured. But again, since REST is more with advanced technology, so the security protocols followed in a REST API, they are also more advanced as compared to SOAP API. And in reliability, SOAP has error handling logic built into it and provides more reliability. And in the REST APIs, we have to build that logic of error handling on our own. So it means that when we are using a SOAP API and if in case there is some error in processing the SOAP API, then automatically SOAP API will trigger an error back to the integration system. Whereas in the REST based API, if there is an error, then our integration will have to, like, we have to manually capture if find out if there is an error or not. But that is not a very tedious task that can be easily done in the integrations. Any doubts or confusion so far in REST and SOAP APIs? We will be creating mostly REST and SOAP APIs during our hands-on exercise. But this type of APIs, object-oriented remote messaging database, this is like important for you from your certification point of view. Okay. Then what we will do, we will now the next topic in this in today's class is setting up the demo system. So right now we have done the setup of our trial account of business technology platform. But to create the APIs and integrations, we also need a source system, right? And that source system is the gateway demo system. So that setup we have to do in today's class. But before that, we will complete the setup of BTP trial account. I will put some roles in the chat and you can assign those roles, and you already know how to assign the roles. Mm,
By subject.
And Sivaredi, before you assign the roles in the integration suite, you need to go to manage capabilities and add the two capabilities also. So these are the 5 roles that you can assign to your user, and then again close the browser, open it again, and then access integration suite, and then you should be able to see all the menu options. So you do this, we'll just wait for a few minutes and then we will set up the demo system. Sivaredi, are you also done? Have you added all these roles?
No, sir.
Are you adding it now?
Sir, here
And in your, yeah, sorry.
integration should only, I can see only here home button only, sir. I cannot see any configure design.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. I can see only home button only.
Yeah, so that is why you need to assign all these roles, right? Which I pinged in the chat. First, you have to add the capabilities.
Yes, sir. Cloud
Y-
integration,
which one you have added? API management and
cloud integration, API management,
which one you added?
trading
You added
partner management.
everything.
Yes, sir. Open connectors, integration assessment, migration assessment.
Cloud integration. Have you added cloud integration?
Yes, sir. Cloud
Yeah,
integration here.
okay. Okay. Yeah, now go to your trial account and in the users tab you need to add all the roles which I gave in the chat. Have you added those user roles?
No, sir.
Yeah, then add it. And are you able to access your integration suite all the menu options now, Deepika?
Yeah, except design development, I am getting only monitor settings and inspect. Without adding that PA administrator, we don't get the design and development.
Do you see settings in the menu, left hand side menu? Do you see settings icon?
Yeah, yeah, APIs.
Go to settings
Okay,
and then API to enable configure options.
it's loading.
Hmm.
Sir, completed one.
Yeah, just close the browser and open it again.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can see the discover design monitor options.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, click on
API,
settings.
okay. API, sir.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So this will set up your account. Now we will do set up the demo system, which we will use for the data, because we have created this BTP cockpit. We have set up the integration suite where we will design APIs and integrations in CPI. But still, we need a system where the data is, from where we will query the data, right? Like, for example, when you open any website like Amazon or Flipkart, and on the UI, when we search for a product, then we are able to see that product, because somewhere in that database they have the information stored related to that product. And when we try to search that product, their APIs, they will query that product from the database and show it on the UI. So we also need a source system where we will have all the data, and that source system is called as gateway demo system. So for setting up the gateway demo system, you use this URL in the chat, and then by using the same email which you are using for BTP cockpit, you can register a new account in there. And after you register, then you will get an email with your username and password. Default password will be there.
Completed, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now you just create this demo system which I'm telling.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so you already have demo system, so that's why you are seeing this email.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, try this second URL. Do you remember your password?
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, where can I reset my password in the temporary pass?
Click on Fury Launchpad. Are you able to log in, Deepika?
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay,
changing the password actually.
okay.
Abhishek, gateway is created successfully. Then
Hmm.
what we have to do now?
Yes, so now you are able to log in. This is the gateway demo system. If you click on that second tile, products 123, which says products 123, and click on go, then you will see all those products 123. So these are all the products which are there, and in this demo system, we have their information like what is the price per unit, name of the product, and all the details we can find in this source system. So in our APIs, when we start creating the APIs, we will refer to this demo system to get the data of the product. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. As such, in this gateway demo system, we don't have to do anything, but just we need to have credentials that we will use to access in the APIs. Okay, so we will stop here today, and tomorrow we will continue on this API management and a few more topics which are there, like which are again, they are like a little theoretical, but they are important for from certification point of view, and also your like if someone is studying integration suite, then you should know about these topics. So tomorrow's class will be a little theoretical, but during our class we will also explore API management in the system, what all options are there like API provider, client, consumer, and all these things.
Actually, I didn't get this page. Can I share my screen once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you click on Fury Launchpad.
Okay. Here we can see the product.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then thank
Mm.
you for joining today's session. If you have any doubts, we can discuss tomorrow morning.